Hi guys, I'm here at the PNC Music Pavilion in Charlotte, North Carolina with the lovely Maren Morris. Maren,
Hi.
good to catch up with you again.
What? Oh, thank
Thanks
you.
for coming for a
Yeah,
chat.
of course.
How was the Dixie Chicks concert last night?
It was amazing. It was incredible. I had never seen them play, when they were really touring, over 10 years ago. So seeing them now at this age and just knowing every word to every song, it was really
I'm so
incredible.
jealous.
Yeah, I mean, it was just an amazing show. The production was top notch, and of course, just every song is so consistently good, and it was good to see them back.
You had a pretty amazing show yourself last week at Red Rocks, didn't you?
Yeah.
So tell us all about that.
Yeah, I opened for Eric Church at Red Rocks, and it was my first time to ever be there, let alone first time opening for Eric Church. So I couldn't imagine a better pairing at a better venue. I mean, it's really as beautiful as it looks in
Yeah,
pictures.
that's amazing. I'd love to go there.
Yeah, it had always been on my bucket list, but I didn't realize I was going to be playing it this soon in my career. So it was really special to be able to do that now.
And tell us about life on the Ripcord tour, because it's not a bad way to spend your summer with Keith Urban, is it?
Yeah, not bad at all. It's been really, really fun. I think, it's like you get so caught up in how many dates you're doing. I don't know if we're in like month 2 or 3 now, but I guess, yeah, it's August. So it's been just a really fun tour. We've been to a lot of cities, and we're going to keep going. I mean, this goes until the end of November. So it's been really fun to see all the different crowds, and I get to sing with Keith every night, which is really fun. And yeah, it's just been a great learning experience for me, and a fun one at that.
And since we last spoke, you released your album Hero. So what's the reaction been like on the road since you released it?
The reaction has been really, really positive. I mean, it's very scary to, put something out into the world that only you have heard in a studio and in your headphones for, a year or so. So having it there for public consumption was definitely daunting, but now that it's out, we can all breathe a little easier. And yeah, the fan response and new fan response, it's been incredible for me to see firsthand, just in each show, more and more people in the audience knowing the words after listening to Hero, and just really diving into the full record, not just the singles. It's been really incredible.
And the new single is 80s Mercedes, isn't it? Which I'm really excited about. It's always been one of my favourites.
Thanks.
So tell us about the inspiration behind that song and why you chose it as a single.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a really fun concept. The title alone, when I thought of it, I didn't know what it was going to be about, but I knew I wanted to write a really fun, getting ready to go out on the town type of song, and have really colorful imagery in the lyrics. And so it was a really easy write, because I already locked in what I wanted to say. It was just about making the language really colorful. So that was a fun write that day. And then in my mind, it always felt like it was going to be a single. It's just so, I mean, it got stuck in my head right after we wrote it, and that's always my gauge on whether it's a hit or like catchy enough. So yeah, it was sort of a no-brainer to make that one a single.
And you just released the video for it as well, which is a really cool video.
Thanks.
So did you always have a vision for a music video as soon as you'd written that song?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the lyrics are so larger than life, and really reminiscent of the 80s and the 90s, and there's just this synthy thing going on, and the intro and the chorus. I don't know, it just always lent itself in my mind to be a music video. Obviously taking place in a car, but I knew I wanted the visuals to feel really neon and hyper stylized, and not feel realistic. I wanted it to look like almost a comic book in a way. So we did it all green screen, and painted it in later in post, and it just became this crazy like acid trip of a video. It was really cool.
It's been really cool this year to see, people like yourself, Kelsey Ballerini and Cam. There seems to have been this resurgence of females in country music. So do you think the door for females is a lot more open now than it perhaps was a couple of years ago?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's always been females in the genre. I mean, everyone from Patsy Cline to Loretta, Dolly, Miranda, current day, it's like Carrie, those are sort of the reigning champs of radio. But, for a while it was lacking with the female perspective, and it's like you'd hear 8 guys and then 1 girl and then another 10 guys. And, it's just, it's nice to see now that the scales are evening out a bit, and to be a part of that change. And that conversation has been really cool for me as a listener of the radio and also just an artist. It's like I love diversity in any capacity. So when I get to turn the radio on, country music has always shown both sides of the sexes. So it's really cool that that's coming back now in a big way.
What advice would you give to a young female country singer that's struggling to break through that barrier?
I mean, I don't know if I'm one to give advice because I'm so, new at this too, but I guess if I had to give someone trying to chase after this crazy dream and, out of Nashville at least, or country music, I would just say, well, and really any music, I guess I would just say to, it sounds cliche, but stay true to what you do and don't get swept up in what's cool at the moment or the trends, because it's a trend for a reason. It's going to end at some point. Just stick to what you love doing and what is authentic to you, and don't say anything or write anything that you haven't had some life in. And so I just always try to be really genuine, and I'm not knocking radio by any means. I love the radio, but as far as trends go, I think it's important to know what's going on, but not be totally swept up in it where it dictates your creativity every day in a certain way. I think it's important to stay true to your compass, but still, allow room for growth, obviously. But yeah, I mean, that's in a nutshell what I would maybe say to someone starting out.
And you came to the UK earlier this year for C2C, and you also did a show at the Borderline.
Yeah.
So tell us about that whole experience. What you thought of it?
It feels like ages ago because that was before the record came out, but I remember going to London for Country to Country, and it was such a gigantic lineup to be a part of. So it was almost like all of Nashville went on a field trip to London for the week. But it was really cool for me because I had never been to the O2 before, and so to be there and be performing and have the majority of the audience know the words to my church, that was like a really emotional thing for me to look back on in retrospect, because when it's happening, it's all happening and you can't quite like focus. You just want to do a good job. Yeah. But seeing the response, like back when I watched later videos of it, when we did the last chorus of my church where everyone sings a cappella, that was really, really powerful. And then doing the show, our club show at the Borderline was so fun because we had just come from this like crazy gigantic venue and then sort of back to our roots, just like in a club, plug it in, and just it was a longer show, which was nice. You get to like kind of show a little bit more of the album without like blowing the surprise of the album. But it was so cool to see people in the UK, and some people had traveled as far as France to get there that night. I met a couple that had come from France, which was so cool. Awesome. Yeah. Just the dedication and loyalty to music. Y'all are really great about that, like doing your homework and really diving into musical repertoires and, falling in love with it. And I don't know, I'm itching to go back really soon because we just had such a positive experience.
I was going to ask you about that because that's the question that everybody at home wants me to ask. When are you coming back?
Okay, so we had planned on doing something this fall, but it just ended up like not working out. We've had a few things like come in the pipeline that we like could not say no to here. One of them being Crossroads on CMT with Alicia Keys. So we had to like push our Europe trip off a little bit, but we just locked in some dates for early next year. So it's not going to be like too much longer, but I'm definitely excited to go back and see more of the UK and not just London. Yeah. Like we'll hit that again too, but we'll do a little promo tour for the record. We
can't wait to see you back in the UK, and thanks for having a chat today.
Yeah,
really appreciate
it.
It's good to catch up with you. Yeah. Signing out from the PNC Music Pavilion in Charlotte.